Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, Epping parents discuss school safety. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9.
Oh, you don't look so hot. Rough night? Ugh. Oh, well, actually, that's the problem. You're on antibiotics. Antibiotics can kill the good bacteria as well as the bad, and that's bad news for your tummy, unless you use Florastor. Unlike many other probiotics, it's naturally resistant to antibiotics and protects the good bacteria in your body. So, take some Florastor. Doctors, well, my orders. Be biotic and drink plenty of fluids.
On the morning of February 14th, hours before 17 lives were taken in a Florida school, a pre-planned active shooter training drill called Alice was being conducted at Epping schools. Just one of the ways school administrators say they are preparing for worst-case scenarios. Tonight, Epping parents packed into the high school to learn more about the safety protocols and offer their own ideas.
Officer Hero, you do an amazing job. You're there all the time. I think we should multiply you by at least one. Because I think putting all that responsibility solely, you're one man, there's 3 schools.
Epping State Rep Sean Morrison says in the past the town has voted down additional school resource officers, but he's now working to get it back on the ballot for next year. One substitute teacher said she believes adults should do more if a mass tragedy should ever happen here.
I will not hide if I can save a child.
After a complaint about a student led to an arrest made this week, parents are also asking for more communication between the elementary, middle, and high schools. Other parents sharing their gratitude.
Thank you and tell you that I have full faith in all that you do, because I know that Luke is not just my son.
And that student that was arrested is facing a criminal threatening charge. Meantime, the superintendent says she will be discussing those suggestions further with administrators. Live in Epping, I'm Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Swiped car hits woman, crashes into drugstore in downtown Boston. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB Boston.
It was a brief run that ended violently as the stolen car jumped the sidewalk, crashing through a heavy solar-powered information sign on Washington Street. The impact ripped off the front bumper, deploying the airbags. Police say the thieves had just tried to swipe a bottle of Grey Goose from the Wild Duck liquor store a few doors down, but the manager chased them out, and they found their getaway car parked right outside. Officers say an Uber driver left his car unlocked and running, and the thieves hopped in. But they only made it about half a block before hitting a woman and crashing onto the sidewalk. Police say a passerby was able to grab one of the fleeing bandits, but the other got away, and that innocent woman was left crying in pain on the sidewalk with serious leg injuries. And police believe both those men were drunk. Again, they continue to look for one of those suspects tonight. That woman, she is expected to survive, but obviously she is recovering with some very painful injuries.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. pregnant goat killed at Smiling Hill Farm. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Oh, you don't look so hot. Rough night? Ugh. Oh, well, actually, that's the problem. You're on antibiotics. Antibiotics can kill the good bacteria as well as the bad, and that's bad news for your tummy, unless you use Florastor. Unlike many other probiotics, it's naturally resistant to antibiotics and protects the good bacteria in your body. So, take some Florastor. Doctors, well, my orders. Be biotic, and drink plenty of fluids.
There is more breaking news here as well. Scarborough police say they're looking for a suspect who shot and killed a pregnant goat in a fenced-in enclosure at Smiling Hill Farm. The farm says this happened sometime early Sunday morning. They found Ava, that's the picture right there, the 5-year-old pregnant goat, dead. Police determined the killing of the goat was an intentional act. The farm says they're worried the unknown person may do the same thing to other animals. Now, Smiling Hill Farm is offering a $1,000 reward for information that leads to the suspect being caught.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. BlackRock manager of $5.7 trillion to talk to gun makers over response to shooting. The world's largest asset manager says it plans to speak with gun makers after a wave of public outcry sparked by the Florida shooting last week. Armed deputy stood outside for minutes doing nothing during massacre, sheriffs say. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
One, two, here we go!
Alive gives you more vitamins and minerals than leading brands. Because when you start with more, you own the morning. Alive.
Breaking headline from Florida tonight. The sheriff just moments ago emotional as he described an armed resource deputy at that school as the shooting was unfolding and what he allegedly did not do. ABC's Victor Akendo in Parkland, Florida tonight.
Tonight, the school resource deputy stationed on campus when that shooting took place under scrutiny. According to the sheriff, Deputy Scott Peterson never went into the school as the massacre was underway. And the sheriff says he's seen the video.
What I saw was a deputy arrive at the west side of Building 12, take up a position, and he never went in. Any questions?
What should he be done?
Went in, addressed the killer, killed the killer.
The sheriff saying the deputy stood outside for 4 minutes without action, then describing his anguish.
Devastated, sick to my stomach. There are no words. I mean, these families lost their children. We lost coaches.
Authorities decided to suspend the deputy, who tonight has resigned. The announcement coming as the debate now rages over what to do to prevent mass shootings. Overnight, a father who lost his 14-year-old girl with Republican Senator Marco Rubio, who has an A+ rating from the NRA.
Your comments this week and those of our president have been pathetically weak.
It's been 8 days since Fred Guttenberg lost his daughter, Jamie.
My daughter running down the hallway at Marjorie Stone and Douglas were shot in the back.
Yes, sir.
With an assault weapon. The weapon of choice.
Yes, sir.
Okay? It is too easy to get. It is a weapon of war. The fact that you can't stand with everybody in this building and say that, I'm sorry.
Sir, I do believe what you're saying is true.
Rubio did tell the audience he would support raising the age limit to buy an AR-15 and weapons like it and wants to fix federal background checks. And then the high school junior who stood before the senator and asked this.
Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA in the future?
The answer to the question is that people buy into my agenda. And I do support the Second Amendment. And I also support the right of you and everyone here to be able to go to school and be safe during my time there.
NRA money? More NRA money?
That is the wrong way to look. First of all, the answer is people buy into my agenda.
You can say
Number
no.
second.
Tonight, even as all deputies stationed in Broward County schools will now be armed with AR-15s, that sheriff saying beyond that, more weapons are not the answer.
I don't believe teachers should be armed. I believe teachers should teach.
One teacher here today agreed, saying she would not want to be armed.
In that moment, the teachers are shielding the students, literally throwing themselves on top of the kids and trying to comfort them. They don't have time to react to, oh my gosh, let me go into this locked cabinet and get a gun.
Not every teacher agrees. This one in Salt Lake City.
If I can carry a gun in school and protect anyone in my classroom, then I will.
A lot of opinions on this. Victor Akendo with us live tonight from Parkland. And Victor, two major teachers unions now issuing strong opinions on this.
David, those unions responding, one saying that anyone who pushes arming teachers doesn't understand teachers and doesn't understand schools. The other saying that bringing more guns onto schools does nothing to protect students or educators from gun violence. David?
Victor Akendo in Parkland. Victor, thank you. And one more development on this tonight. Since the deadly shooting in Parkland, Florida, 8 days ago, we have learned of several threats or possible school plots thwarted, and tonight yet another one. In Leonardtown, Maryland, 2 students arrested for allegedly making a mass threat against the high school. Authorities revealing they've recovered semi-automatic rifles, handguns, and other weapons. They are now charged with a threat of mass violence. And tonight, take a look at this map showing some of the other threats where authorities have become aware of a possible threat against schools in just recent days. The group Educators for School Safety Network, which tracks these numbers, says it normally records an average of 10 threats a day. In the past week, they have recorded 50 threats a day.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.